Alex's Journey into Awesomeness. Hey, and welcome to another episode of Journey into Awesomeness. I'm Alex, and tonight we are exploring a little bit more into the series on Tolkien that we have, and it's the poem entitled I Sit and Think. So stay tuned for that. It should be fun. I sit and think. I sit beside the fire and think of all that I've seen, of meadow flowers and butterflies in summers that have been, of yellow leaves and gossamer in autumns that there were, with morning mist and silver sun and wind upon my hair. I sit beside the fire and think of how the world will be when winter comes without a spring that I shall ever see. For still there are so many things that I have never seen. In every wood, in every spring, there is a different green. I sit beside the fire and think of all people long ago, and people who will see a world that I shall never know. But all the while I sit and think of times there were before. I listen for returning feet and voices at the door. So, how do we relate this to the law of attraction? I'll start with a story that I was thinking of tonight, and that's the story of my grandfather. My grandfather, Constantine, who I was very, very close to, died at a relatively young age for me. He died in 1996. So I was just getting out of high school at that point. My grandmother died much later, who I was also very close to. But my grandfather he meant a ton to me. He raised me for a couple of years while my parents were here in this country. The legacy of communism. Let me tell you, if you've ever lived under it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't lived under it, I wouldn't recommend it. But suffice to say, it's a poetry show. So, my grandfather was a man of incredible presence and reminded me of a lot of characters in Tolkien, specifically Gandalf and that kind of thing. So, and then he passed. So I thought of him today. There was a memory. It meant a lot. I lived in it for a second, and then I let it pass. And I returned to the present, because this is where I am now. This is what I'm doing. I'm talking to you, and we're both experiencing this in real time. It's not the past, it's not the future, it's now. And that's one of the big secrets of the law of attraction. Working with, communicating, and being absorbed, fully encompassed by the now. And of course we are anyway, right? But our minds can oftentimes be in the past or in the future, even in a beautiful memory of a grandfather or a loved one that died, or future great memories or future great fears of what might happen. Remember, it's being in the now that makes any difference. If we're stuck in either of those are our prisons. So, with that in mind, I want to thank you for hanging out and being a part of a Journey into Awesomeness. I hope you like it. If you're curious about my hat wear today, it was very cold today. I just got back from walking in the park, and I felt like I needed something on. And I felt like maybe this was, J.R. Tolkien-esque enough. If it's not, sorry. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.